Why was Queen Ranavalona I so relevant? Madagascar, 1778. A little girl is born. Her parent named her Ramavo. She is the daughter of Prince Andrian Salamanjaka and Princess Rabodan Andrian Tampo. Her family did not belong to the royal family. However, destiny had other plans for her. When Ramavo was still a young girl, her father, a brave man, saved the life of King Andrian Ampuinamarina from a plot planned by Andrianjafai, the king's uncle. In return, the king adopted his daughter Ramavo as his own daughter and betrothed her to his son, Prince Radama, his heir. He furthermore declared that any child from that union will be first in the line of succession after his son, the Prince Radama. And as expected, after the king's death, Ramavo became the new queen of the Kingdom of Marina, located on the beautiful island of Madagascar. But that elevation brought unwanted burdens. The other royal wives hated her. They couldn't accept the fact that she, a lower-class girl, was granted such access to their upper-class world. This new status brought a lot of new problems. The queen realized that she was not the favored wife of her husband Radama, and it got worse when she couldn't bear him a child. This situation put her privileged position at risk at the moment of her husband's death. That day happened in 1828, putting the queen in a very perilous position because she did not have a child with her husband. A prince named Rakatob automatically became the rightful heir to the throne of Marina. However, his position was threatened by the fact that Queen Ramavo was still alive. He would have to make some moves to get rid of her. With the threat of losing her power, influence, protection, and even her life, the queen had to act. She allied herself with powerful officers of the army and royal court and claimed the throne. An officer named Andrea Mamba supported her claim to the throne. He hid her and one of her friends in a safe location and secured the support of influential power brokers, judges, and keepers of the royal idols. The officers rallied the army behind Ramavo, and she declared herself the successor to Radama on August 11, 1828. To prevent future coups, she systematically captured and executed her political rivals, including Rakatob and his family. Her coronation took place on June 12, 1829. And she became the first female sovereign of the Kingdom of Marina since its founding in 1540. And that's when she took the reign name of Ranavalona I, which means folded or kept aside. Although her story appears to have a happy ending, the reality is different. Queen Ranavalona's reign coincided with aggressive European colonial expansion, leading to competition between France and Britain for control over Madagascar. The French, who already held small islands off the coast, aimed to take over the main island, which would pose a major threat to the Queen's rule. In the 1800s, Europeans used to infiltrate foreign nations through religion. Missionaries also served as agents and spies to collect information and destabilize nations from within. The London Missionary Society, LMS, established schools in Toamasina, Madagascar to teach practical skills and literacy, but initially failed to convert pupils to Christianity. During Ranavalona's reign, the suppression of Christianity initially established by her former husband King Radama was relaxed, allowing the LMS to print religious materials and establish schools, which helped establish the religion among a small but growing group of converts. The Queen allowed her subjects to attend church services and receive the sacrament and baptism, resulting in a significant number of conversions among Malagasy people from all social classes. However, she forbade book distribution within the military to maintain discipline. But the conversion of major religious, political, and social leaders sparked a backlash that led Ranavalona to become increasingly wary of the political and cultural effects of Christianity, which she saw as leading the Malagasy to forsake their ancestors and their traditions. The threat was serious. So, she enacted a series of bans on Christianity during the 1830s. In October and November 1831, she banned Christian marriages, baptisms, and church services for all Malagasy people, prohibiting them from attending church services. Despite the ban, baptisms and church services continued in secret from 1832 to 1834. However, several Christians were charged with witchcraft each year and subjected to exile or the Tangina ordeal during this time. In ancient times, a trial by ordeal was a common judicial practice that determined the guilt or innocence of the accused through a painful or dangerous experience. In the Kingdom of Marina, they used the Tanhea ordeal, which involved ingesting poison from the native Tangina shrub's nut. If the accused survived the test, they were deemed innocent. She also requested the departure of 3 missionaries, only retaining those with valuable technical skills. In 1835, despite the Queen's attempts to suppress Christianity, the religion was becoming firmly established among a small but growing group of converts in and around the capital. The same year she delivered the Kabary speech. In her speech, she forbade the practice of Christianity among her subjects. She made it clear that violators of this law would face capital punishment. However, foreigners were exempt from this law and allowed to continue practicing their own religion and conscience. Despite banning Christianity, she recognized the contributions of European missionaries to her country's advancement. She acknowledged the valuable intellectual and technological contributions they had made and invited them to continue working on the condition that their proselytizing would cease. The Queen emphasized that she would welcome wisdom and knowledge that benefited her country, but she made it clear that she would not allow anyone to break the laws of her kingdom. She recognized the importance of skilled handiwork and other practical skills and encouraged foreigners to exercise these skills to benefit the people of Madagascar. The Kabary speech was a pivotal moment in the history of Madagascar. The Queen's ban on Christianity among her subjects and her recognition of the contributions of European missionaries showcased her dedication to her country's traditional customs and her desire to balance progress and modernization with preserving the history and African culture of her people. After the February 26 decree, which punished those caught with a Bible or practicing Christianity, most of the missionaries left the island. The last 2 remaining tried to continue their work but had to shut down the LMS mission and leave Madagascar after a year due to government pressure. The decree punished those caught with a Bible, worshiping in congregation, or professing Christianity with fines, imprisonment, or execution. Persecution of Christians intensified in 1840, 1849, and 1857, with 1849 being the worst year. In that year, 1,900 people were punished for their Christian faith, and 18 were executed. The plight of the Malagasy Christians and the actions of the Queen were a grim reminder of the dangers of state-sanctioned persecution of religious minorities. But religion wasn't the only foreign threat. To maintain a secure passage to India, the British opposed the French takeover of Madagascar. But it didn't matter to Queen Ranavalona, who pursued a self-reliant policy and annulled the Anglo-Marina Treaty, which banned international slave trade and halted the delivery of modern weaponry. But this decision left her vulnerable to foreign attacks and local resistance. And the consequences of this choice came quickly. In 1829, 6 French ships launched an unprovoked attack to Madagascar's Foul Point Fort and Ivandro town, but they were repelled to Île Sainte-Marie by the Queen's army. That event convinced the Queen to enlist a Frenchman, Jean Laborde, to establish factories to produce modern weapons. She understood the necessity to make her kingdom military self-sufficient to enhance her sovereignty. Another plot occurred in 1855, when the Lambert Charter was signed between French Representative Joseph-François Lambert and future King, Prince Rakoto, whom the Queen had conceived secretly with a young army officer, granting French business associates first access to Madagascar's resources upon his succession. Lambert conspired with Jean Laborde and local leaders to request French military intervention, potentially bringing Madagascar under French rule, but Prince Rakoto later revealed the truth to a British diplomat, avoiding an attack. But this failure didn't stop Lambert, who attempted another coup, but this time independently. He traveled to the Queen's court in 1857 with Ida Pfeiffer to dethrone the Queen, but the plot failed due to the army's intervention. According to a British account, Rakoto feigned cooperation with the conspirators and warned the Queen of the plot. The wise Queen allowed the plot to unfold to test the loyalty of her government members. After the discovery, all Europeans were confined to their houses and expelled from the island in late July. In 1861, Queen Ranavalona designated her son Rakoto as her successor, but a conservative faction tried to install her nephew instead. But powerful government and army officials supported Radama's succession. He thus secured his position as King Radama II. Queen Ranavalona passed away in her sleep on August 16, 1861, and 12,000 zebu were slaughtered to honor her, with their meat distributed to the populace. Her body was placed in a silver piastre coffin and laid to rest in a tomb at the royal city of Ambohimanga, with a 9-month official mourning period. King Radama II's reign saw a sharp reversal of his mother Queen Ranavalona I's traditionalist policies. and his public conversion to Christianity sparked an epidemic of spirit possession attributed to his mother's outraged spirit. Later on, that decision led to the kingdom's downfall and colonization by France. Queen Ranavalona's reign was remembered and honored by the people of Madagascar, but foreign contemporaries strongly condemned the queen's policies, characterizing her as a tyrant or even a mad woman. This view persisted in Western historical literature until the 1970s. Today, most Africans regard Queen Ranavalona as a brilliant politician and visionary who understood the dangers of colonization. Despite her flaws, she ruled with dignity, defending her country's political and cultural independence from the growing influence of European nations. Her foresight and wise leadership exemplifies her greatness and deserves further investigation and celebration. We continue to learn from the example of one of Africa's most remarkable leaders to honor her legacy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching Mr. Imhotep's channel, and see you soon.